Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are and whenever you are. Welcome to the community live stream. My name is Chuck Tomasi, and I am here to bring you not only the answers on the community, but the thought process that goes on behind those answers. Give you the answers behind the answers. The journey of discovery, the reverse engineering, all of that stuff that goes into helping you be a more effective ServiceNow administrator, developer, so you can take those skills to your job and just do better. So welcome. That's what the show is all about. This is unscripted. I'm going to be using the community you see behind me, doing that live. So I don't know what's really in the next hour. I have a couple of ideas that I may get to later in the show. But for now, let me bring in the rest of the stuff that's here. Why are we not doing the appropriate title change? Let's do that. If you're watching on YouTube, please consider subscribing. Hit that like button if you find something helpful in here. That lets other people know. Subscribe obviously gets you the notifications that come up. You got to click the little bell. I noticed that a few weeks ago. So make sure you check your notifications and you'll get a notification on your device like this when we begin streaming. So we also do this live on Twitch. Actually, I think that's just what came up. Yep, Twitch just told me at the same time. So look forward to seeing that. Good morning, Sridhar, Ed, Brian, and Shane. Glad you could join me this morning. This is, I forgot to say, this is Friday, February 28th, 2020. I got to get out of the teens. It's 2020 now. So welcome. Thank you for joining us. And again, YouTube is the place to go. You see the URL there. Subscribe, click the notifications, click the like if you find something. Leave comments if you wish. We do have a live stream going, so those of you who are joining, I gave them a shout out here. We also have Carolyn and John. Good to see you. Thank you for returning. Some regulars showing up. And the live chat usually takes on a life of its own sometimes. There's a whole conversation that's going on that is sometimes what I'm talking about, sometimes not what I'm talking about, and very helpful. This is a live version, an IRL, if you will, of the community that you see behind me, where people will ask questions. If you've got a question for the community, though, I generally don't answer it in the live chat. So please ask it in the community. It's a great system of record. You can search out, find out if somebody's already asked a question there. We're getting ahead of ourselves here. I got to get to the Twitch URL. I mentioned that. Twitch.tv/NOWCommunity if you want to watch over there. For whatever reason, sometimes YouTube audio is off and you just want to go there. It's a better streaming experience. You can do that. They're only around for a couple of weeks, though. So you may not find the full library that you would on the YouTube channel. Again, if you've got more in-depth questions, situations that you want to find out, is this possible? You're doing some exploration. Please go over to the community at community.servicenow.com. Ask your question there. Hundreds of thousands of people out there. It's a great group, very smart people, very active, very vibrant. I've been doing online communities for over 30 years, and this is probably the best. Well, unless you go back to the bulletin board I ran in the 80s, which was a nice close-knit group of people in the same town. But hey, this is a global world now. So this is the best community that I've ever participated in. So lots of great stuff. You can get your answers, build a reputation, cool stuff over there. I also invite you, if you are starting out, hit the button, Charles. Starting out, or you've got some other questions, technical questions about APIs, or you want to try something out, go over to developer.servicenow.com and you can get yourself a free personal developer instance. You can get the scripting APIs. There's videos over there. Later this afternoon, I'll be recording Live Coding Happy Hour with Andrew Barnes and whoever the guest this week is. Looking forward to that. I think we're going to close out February with some more CI/CD things from Orlando. So you won't want to miss that. You can play around with Orlando. Before it goes general availability in a few weeks in March, you can get that early access through the personal developer instance you can get from developer.servicenow.com. Lots of other great stuff over there. I think I mentioned blog entries. If I didn't, they're out there. Free learning plans. Lots of great stuff. And soon, very soon, we'll be launching a new version of the developer portal. You know what? We should probably take a look at that, what it looks like today, and show you a few last looks of what that's going to look like. Hey, it says upgrade to Orlando finally. Somebody fixed that carousel at the top. So we will be rebranding this. It will be built on the new technology that Workspace is built on. We're calling that the Now Experience. So this version is built on Service Portal. We're going to be upgrading to the next version so we can do some new cool stuff and learn and grow and teach you all about that stuff as well. There was something else I was going to say about the developer portal, but now I can't remember. Orlando, something. Anyway, we'll move on. Sorry about that. Just getting my head. Meetups. That's what else. That's why I have a button there that says Meetups. Go over to the developer portal. You can see upcoming events. I believe we have NOIDA happening probably as we speak, which is why we don't see a lot of our regulars out here. It is February 28th, and it is the evening over there. So Madison is coming up next week. Sao Paulo, Jason McKee will be there for that one. So look for him. I believe he's on his way. He's going to be doing 2 innovation workshops and a developer meetup. Thank you, Jason, for taking that. I would have gone, but I'm on PTO next week. I really, really, really did want to go to Brazil. Bengaluru, Pune, Orlando, Tampa Bay. Hey, how about that? An Orlando meetup in Orlando. Probably going to be talking about Orlando. I thought Phoenix was in here somewhere. There it is. I'll be attending Phoenix. Lots of great ones there. If you don't see one actively coming up, go over to meetup.com/pro/ServiceNow Dev Program, and you will see a global map of where we have all of our 63 chapters right now. These are run by developers, by customers, by possibly partners, not by ServiceNow. We will support you. We will provide content, but it's up to you to pick out a venue, pick a topic, guest speaker, do a live presentation, have a meetup, whatever. It's your stuff to run. So if there isn't one in your area, if there is one in your area, obviously sign up and go. You definitely want to check that out, regardless of whether you're just starting out or you're an old pro. If you're an old pro, consider sharing. If you're just starting out, hey, maybe you want to share too about your journey. You go to this URL, find one of the ones that's in your area. If you don't have one in your area, let us know. Let us know. We've got a certain number of new chapters on the budget for 2020 to help get them started. We would love to help you get one started in your area. Other events you can find aside from meetups can be found over at events.html, servicenow.com/events.html. So there was a ServiceNow user group meeting yesterday in Phoenix. I could not make that. I apologize. It was just a crazy day. We had people installing new windows on our guest house. It was just, couldn't get away. Had a lot of things to wrap up before I go on vacation next week. So really wish I could have got there because there's some old friends that were in town that are no longer with ServiceNow that I would have loved to have seen, but we'll have to make it next time. Probably in the summer when it's nice and hot. So other webinars you can find over there as well, on-demand webinars, including our Tech Now webinar, which I will get to in a moment. You can find those on demand. You can find those on YouTube on the community channel as well. So lots of great stuff. And encourage you, follow me on LinkedIn if you want to find out more. We've got news coming out. I think there's probably 4 or 5 ServiceNow related news stories a day that I share. When I'm home, won't be sharing much next week. And we'll get on with that. So go over there, take a look. Also, quick reminder, Knowledge is coming up. How many days away, you ask? I'm glad you asked, because I will tell you from my phone that it is now 64 days away. Yeah, it's coming up fast. And by the time I get back, it will be in the 50s. And there's lots left to do. A lot has been done, but there's a lot left to do. I believe the catalog is now available on this site, knowledge.servicenow.com. Go over there. May 3rd through 7th. Early bird pricing ended February 21st, so apologize if you couldn't get a hold of that soon enough, but you can still go. There's plenty of room. There's plenty of tickets. Go to Knowledge May 3rd through 7th in Orlando, Florida. Get it? Orlando release just came out, Orlando, Florida. We're not doing this every time. We're not going to Paris Paris is in the fall. We're not going to, what would that be, Quebec next year? No. We're going back to Vegas next year. So if it's not your cup of tea, I apologize, but I don't have any say in where we go and when. I look forward to seeing you in Orlando. We haven't been there since 2017. Wonderful time, great venue. Look forward to seeing you there. Hopefully, if you were there last year in Vegas, hopefully I'll be a little more accessible than I was last year. There's a bit of a chicken running around from here to there to getting things done, and it had to go into hiding while we practiced this thing. So we shall see. We shall see. I look forward to seeing you there if you are able to go to Knowledge in Orlando. Blah, blah, blah. May 3rd through 7th. Networking, workshops, hands-on workshops. You know the spiel, right? If you don't, go over to knowledge.servicenow.com. A lot of great stuff over there. So I'm not going to bore you with that. Where are we? Oh, webinar. I just put this slide together like 60 seconds before the show started. So it's not quite the format we usually use, but it's close enough. Our next Tech Now is episode 74 coming up on March 17th. Chris Faulkner will be joining us. He is the PM who put together the CI/CD components that we have in Orlando. So we'll be showing you that both in Integration Hub and the APIs that are available. So you can streamline your ServiceNow CI/CD pipeline. Want to get a hold of your 250 developers in your organization? Maybe you've got 10, maybe you've got 250. You want to make sure that everything's running smoothly, tests are run, quality is maintained, things are signed off. You can now do that, automate that with, before it was a manual process of moving things through. So we'll get deep into that. If you haven't already done so, go over and register at bit.ly/TN74reg and get signed up for that. That is March 17th, St. Patrick's Day. Look forward to seeing you there at 8 a.m. Pacific. Oh, everybody's changing their clocks back on the 8th. So it's going to be fun. Any code we write today will be available in GitHub at the bit.ly link you see there. SN-CLS stands for Community Livestream. If you see a folder there, it will be dated with today's date, 2020-02-28. And you can take those scripts and experiment with them. Sometimes it's just a couple of lines to show something very interesting. Other times it's, hey, this is how you prevent a problem. This is how you solve this particular situation. And if it applies to you, go look through the archives. There's a whole bunch of old scripts hanging around, just quick little utilities. I wanted to demonstrate something or explain something a little more in depth than just typing it out, banging it out on the community and saying, there, I'm done. That's how this show evolved. It's like, hey, there's more to explain than just, here's your answer, next. Wanted to make sure that the understanding is conveyed there. So that's our library of JavaScript. If you're not familiar with JavaScript and you want to get more comfortable with it, or you just want to go back and refresh on something like passing objects to functions, you can do that with the JavaScript series you see there. Learn JavaScript on the Now platform, bit.ly/sn-learn-js. I try to make these as simple as possible to remember. It's not those 2x053w bit.ly links that they give you. You can customize them, and this has been hugely popular. Thank you very much for all the very kind comments and the thumbs up on that series. It's been working out very, very well, very popular. Had a comment come in last night, another person saying these are very helpful. So thank you. I look forward to seeing many of you at, there's actually lots of, I look forward to seeing you at a meetup or at Knowledge. Let me finish that thought before I jump ahead to the next one. There's been some suggestions. Hey, can you do this for other areas of the platform? Would love to, would absolutely love to. And we'll see if we can get that on the radar. It's a question of timing and bandwidth. This one took a little longer to produce than I had originally expected, just because of other things coming in. And this one truly was a labor of love. Nobody put this on my annual objectives and says, hey, Chuck, go make a JavaScript series. I said, we need a JavaScript series and put this out. So imagine what happens if they tell me to actually do it. Well, then we get funding and timing and all that good stuff. So production can go up. Looking forward to that. And with that, it brings us back to the community. So let's get started with, let's go into a first refresh. Thank you for joining me once again. If you're just joining, I look forward to seeing you. You know, what'd be funny is if they were over there doing a developer meetup and just broadcasting this live. Probably not. I know what's on their agenda, and it's not me. That would kind of be cheating, wouldn't it? Like, hey, guess what, Chuck? Because you know what? Last night I didn't even know I was going to be doing it this morning. I said, I got some time before the the day actually breaks before my first meeting. Let's stick in one of these. I haven't done one in a couple of weeks, and it's time. This, too, is a labor of love that may someday turn into an official part of my job. Let's look at the unreplied questions. I like to start with something new. I don't have any follow-ups from previous episodes, so apologize for that. Sometimes there's a thought that carries over. If you're watching these in sequence, it makes a little more sense. If you have to wait a couple of weeks, well, in incident form, by the way, if I do skip over some of these, just a quick reminder, it's not because I don't love you, I truly do. It's because I don't have an expertise or I may not have a voice. I may go exploring to see if I can learn something new in that. This is a community of give and take. I try to give as much as possible, but there's also times where I go, that looks interesting, I'd like to learn more. Let me subscribe to that, stay in tune with that conversation, and then you can do that too. Didn't mean to hit that. In incident form, when I select the caller ID, automatically displays the caller email ID in the email field. Please send me the code. In incident form, when I select the caller ID, automatically display the caller email. You know what? I wouldn't do it that way. I would do it with a dot walk in the form. Okay, so let me do a quick reply if somebody's not already doing this. Okay, I wouldn't bother putting the email in a separate field and populating it with script. Since a user's email generally doesn't change all that much, how about using a dot walk approach to displaying it on the form if it is that critical? Most people just click over the icon to the left of the caller field. Anyway, so let me show you what that looks like. Use, configure, form layout, then find and select, single click, don't mess that up, single click the caller ID from the left side of the list collector and click the plus icon in the middle. Done it so many times I can do that without even looking. In the middle. This will drill into the fields available on the caller record. Available on the caller record. Da-da-da. Then you can move the email caller ID.email to the selected fields on the right. Reply. Want to see what that looks like? This is called dot walking, kids, if you haven't done it already. On my personal developer instance, I'm going to go to the global application because I'm going to work on incident and oops, not there. Incident. Try that again. Incident. Wow, the fingers are working really well this morning. Let's go to incident.list. Yes, I definitely want to leave, and I want to leave. Let's go to this one, 10,021. Go into the form. I think I clicked it. Slow browser, take a drink. Wonder. Okay, here we have the caller, Party Rubble. Now, most people, as I said, will do this because form space is precious and long forms are daunting. Nobody likes a long form. It's tax time here in the US and nobody likes a long form. You know what I'm talking about. Okay. And I can see the email right there. I don't need all of this information from the user put on the same form over and over again. The reason location is often put on here is because the location you deliver something may be different than the user's default location. I work from home. It says remote Arizona on my user profile. That may not be where I want my service delivered when I'm visiting Santa Clara at our headquarters. So if there is something I need to expose out here, can't do this through Form Designer. This is one of the things that Form Layout, the older version of this, can do that Form Designer cannot. It's not a common task, which is why Form Designer doesn't have it. So down here on Configure, I have both Form Design, which will bring up another tab, and I do the drag and drop, GUI kind of thing, or Form Layout, which is the older traditional way of doing this. And this is how we can do dot logging. Here are my fields across the left side before I hit a split, number, caller ID, category, da-da-da-da-da-da. Okay, then down the right side, and then I have an end split. These are how the sections are laid out. And then full length underneath the end split. I can put in more splits and end splits if I want to jockey around with that section, but I'm not going to. What I described was go to caller ID. Notice I have two fields labeled caller. One is u_caller and one is caller_ID. This tells me which one the system has. It goes, hey, you got two labeled this way. Don't get confused. When there are two labels that are the same, it will put the field name in to help you resolve that. Green fields are reference fields. This means they point to a record in another table, and I can get at that information in that table. I hover over them. Notice if I'm not on a green field, this little thing in the middle, see if I still have my little cursor pointer on. I do not. So let's turn it on. So you can see where I'm pointing with that teeny tiny little cursor. Let's turn on my mouse locator so I can locate my mouse. That's good for everybody. Mouse locator, is it on? Not yet. Okay. Mouse locator, activate. Sound like something a superhero would say. And there it is. So note right here, watch the middle between these two columns. Regular field, regular field, regular field, reference field. Ooh. So if I go to caller ID and I click that, it drills in. It says, great, you are now on incident fields, caller IDs, and under there you have a whole bunch of things, including email. Select that, place it where you want. Here's another little trick about the list collector that I didn't learn until a few months after I'd started. Highlight a field over on the right, then select the one on the left, and it will put it right there, except for reference fields. I don't know what's up with that. So you watch this trick. That field is selected, pick a reference field, and it always shows up at the bottom. I don't know why. It's just a thing. But if it's not a reference field, I now have caller ID, email in there. Save that and be aware that it's now also editable. Okay? If I change this from example.com to google.com and say form save, it just saved it. Okay? Be aware of that. That's potentially dangerous thing. You may want to make this field read only, especially if it's coming in from a third-party system like your HR management system. You decide, or if it's coming from Active Directory, that's the source of authority for user information. Fine. ServiceNow is a copy. Don't let people change it. Make sure your ACLs are set up properly so that people aren't changing this randomly and going, hey, guess what? I changed my email address. Okay? I will put a note in the comments of that post I just updated, which forgot to hit the coin. I will put a comment in there saying, hey, go look. We covered this on the live stream, and then you can actually watch what I did in slow motion and pause and rewind, and it's a whole bunch of fun. So that's one. We are moving along today. Oops. I thought I had that open in a separate tab. Let's do that again. I have a particular pecking order for this. Community. This episode always goes first. Let's get back in. Hopefully I don't have to log in. Session should still be active. I have one email. Let's go check the email. I have a song that I could play for the email, but I won't because it takes too long. Do that on other podcast. In an incident. Oh, looks like the email bug is still here. It says, Nagarjuna posted a question after I had responded to the comment. It's like, there's the question and there's my comment. Why am I just now finding out that the question was posted? Still there. Hasn't been fixed in the couple of weeks since I have been offline. Unable to activate Service 360 plugin on personal developer instance, error message. Let's find out. Can I help with this? I can do some stuff on PDIs, personal developer instances. Requested activation of Service 360 plugin on a personal developer. Getting request failed. Notify the ServiceNow developers team. Any idea why this could be? They didn't put in the instance name, so unfortunately I can't hop on and take a look. My developer instance is down a whole day. Can it be restarted? That's from instance help as well. Someone on the developer team is going to jump in and take a look at that. ServiceNow CRON scheduled script. For a minute I thought that said corn. Did not say corn. We don't have a corn job. Hi. In my scoped application, I've created a scheduled script and will execute every 15 minutes. Here we are calling the third-party API and storing the details in the ServiceNow table for our usage. My question is ServiceNow scheduled script have any limitations, or is it possible to break in the bulk call process? Is it possible to break in the bulk call process? Please suggest to me. I'm not sure what break in the bulk call means. Never heard that term before. Can you explain? As far as running scheduled jobs every 15 minutes, that seems quite frequent. And you want to ensure that one is done before the next starts. So you may want to come up with some sort of locking mechanism. Let's see if I can spell that right. Mechanism. Go fingers. Go get me some new fingers today. Before starting a second job. This might also be a good use case to think about. Here it comes. Flow Designer and Integration Hub to make this more maintainable in the future and your integration more reusable. Those little action blocks are really freaking awesome. Let's put a link to some docs. I already have a docs tab open. So let's go to Integration Hub. There. In Orlando. I'm liking the new doc site too, since we redid this about a month or 6 weeks ago. I don't see a direct link to it, so we'll just now platform capabilities. Top page is usually nearby, so let's do that. Create link, HTML, and where was it? There? No, there. Paste. Ta-da! Bell. Done. Excellent. I had something else I wanted to take a look at. Custom contact live agent option for chat window meta. Need to adapt code to display watch list widget on service catalog portal page. Populate a field based on another field. That's been sitting 25 minutes ago? How many views has this thing had? It doesn't sound that difficult. Let's find out. I need help to build a script when we use a planning board. Oh, this probably shouldn't go on here, but into release management, the task go to correct release, but I need to display release name into an ENH task field. I have a release field into ENH form that references the RM release. Okay, my head doesn't go around the data model because I'm not big into planning and release. So let's see what the picture looks like. And maybe we can get an idea from there. It might be another dot walking exercise if the fields are related. So there's the parent. There's the release. It smells like another dot walking exercise. Okay, where did my last reply just go? We should know because it's in the inbox, and I can do a go to content from here, copy this link, create link HTML. Wow, 2 for 1 today. I'm going to admit I'm not the strongest person in, well, I'm not well versed in release management. This sounds like the data is related by a reference field. Related by a reference field. You may just need to use configure. Come on, configure form layout to dot walk to the field you want on the form. See this other post I just replied to. Ta-da! It's not me that's given the crazy titles. But hey, let's try to help. Close those and move right along. ServiceNow Open API frame. I know what it is. I've never used it, and I'm really curious about Open API to be able to do the phone bridge things. Let's do a refresh on this page. And now what do we have? How to prevent alerts creating at event layer. That's in IT operations management. My developer instance is down a whole day. And these look like the ones I just looked at. So that means it's time to look at things that are recently replied. Let's go to unsolved. What do we get? PM project, PM task import, populate field based on another field. We just did that. Unable to do ServiceNow 360. Oh, someone replied to that. And it wasn't a ServiceNow person. 360 activation works only when all dependent plugins are also installed. Refer to the below. Good answer. Is it possible to have a set of checklist items automatically added to a task in VTB once it's been established? Ooh, it's a good question. Where are the VTB checklist tasks stored? Why is that in ITOM also? That doesn't make sense. Somebody responded. I'm going to guess there's like a VTB underscore check table. This is certainly possible. I haven't found an out-of-the-box function to do this. Checklist, checklist item, checklist table. In your case, you probably want to create a template which you could easily maintain and add it to your task. So go get a checklist template, get the one and the name you're after. This would go into business rule after async. Wow. Love this answer. Well formatted. Then you go through the items, do your insert, and away you go. That is why Mark is an MVP. I endorse this answer. Thank you, Mark. Wasn't Mark like right there? Yeah, I thought I just saw his name. He's in 5th place, man. How did that sneak up? There's some names that aren't on this list anymore. Let me just quick look at the leaderboard, find out where some of these people went. Wow, Dan is creeping up. He's more like one of the behind the scenes guys. Michael Fry, Kalai. Ooh, it's pretty tight in the 70,000 range. Look at this. Abine. Pretty fun. Pretty fun. Just like to glance at that every once in a while, see where everybody is. Congratulations again to all the 2020 community MVPs. I look forward to seeing you at Knowledge. As far as somebody asked me last night, I'm sorry, what day is it? It's Friday. I think Tuesday night. Wow, it's been a crazy week. I was on a phone call and they said, hey, where can we meet up at Knowledge? And I said, you know what? I don't know. I don't have that much on my schedule yet. My schedule hasn't been set. I'm in the process of building a lot of things. I said, I'd love to go to your workshops. I don't have any workshops to present. I am helping others build. I'm sort of at this quasi-manager state as far as Knowledge is concerned, helping orchestrate about 8 workshops that are being built for CreatorCon. So I will not be presenting anything directly. I don't have a developer theater session this year. Last year we played Jeopardy 3 times. I'd love to do that again, but Lily's got a wonderful lineup of sessions for you already in the developer theater. The best place to find me if you're looking for me at Knowledge is going to be either in the CreatorCon area somewhere. The most likely place will be near the builder space, near the developer theater, or possibly in the community. I know there's a gathering of community MVPs that they're working on orchestrating that. There's also a panel that's, I believe I'm going to be on that with Goran in the community. So look for something about ServiceNow impacting your career community theater session. Okay, real short 20, 25 minute thing. We are also looking to bring many copies of the No Code Apps for Dummies books to Knowledge. So be happy to, if you want to pick one of those out, I'll sign it for you if that's what you want. You can do that. So hopefully with less assignments to scheduled events, I'll be a little more accessible to have discussions. I really, really missed that last year, being able to get out. I mean, I had to time things around lunch. People say, hey, where can I get a selfie? And I say, meet me at the bottom of the escalator at noon on my way to get a sandwich. That was about it. So hopefully we'll have a little more time to get together and socialize. There are some other activities that are still very fluid. Can't really commit to saying when I'll be at anything. But as the upcoming weeks, as the next, 64 days go by, we can work on getting those tightened together. Do you know when we will be able to build our K20 agenda? Not yet. I heard yesterday, in fact, I think I posted it on LinkedIn, that the catalog is available. So should be shortly thereafter. I had heard March, but I don't have a date. So view content is now out here, right there next to the register button. Woohoo! Apparently, if you're logged in, you can heart some stuff. So it's going to say, please log in. Good old ServiceNow ID login, same one you use for Now Creators, same one use. Speaking of Now Creators, yeah, unable to schedule. Okay, I don't have access. Apparently, I'm not allowed. If you go to ServiceNow.com, this is a bit of a sidebar. Now Creators, ServiceNow.com/Now Creators. It will take you to a very similar URL, but it's a nice shortcut to remember. And even if you're already joined, click Join Today. I don't like that link, but there it is. Log in. Since I'm already logged in with that login I just did on the other page. If you haven't looked at this, quick note, this is a collection of the things you accomplish around the community, around Now Learning, around this Customer Success Center. There's a number of things in here. I think under Business Process Analyst, was it? Yeah, some of these are as simple as, hey, go download and read this PDF. Cool. You can earn some stuff very, very quickly. And I earned my Business Process Owner or Business Process Analyst Star badge. These are called super badges. So as you're cruising around the community or whatever, you earn these little badges, not little badges, but you get the idea. And you can post those up like the community gives you, hey, you got 500 correct answers, or you've got 10 helpful, or you're level 10 whatever. So we've got some community stuff in here. You can also put on your certs. I've got my CSA. I renewed that a couple of weeks ago. Thank goodness I passed. There were some challenging questions on there, I'll be honest. To say that it aligned 100% with what was on the courseware, you need some experience too. It's not just go take the course, go take the exam. It's go take the course, fool around with a few things that are on the platform. PDI is a good way to do that. Then go take the exam, because there's a few things that you're going to need to know. You're going to need to have done this to know it, kind of thing. You got your star admin. Good job, John. Good job. So there's my Star Administrator. Yeah, I got the Star Admin Super Badge. What comes next? Well, if you go over to this Super Badge workspace up here at the top, then you can find out. If I want to know what's next for being an administrator, above Star is Pro. Well, get certified as a system administrator. I thought I already did that. Okay, for some reason that's not it does say completed. Sorry, the checkbox is there. They only turn this darker shade of green when you've completed the whole list of them in there. Get your micro certification on subscription model. Oh, that thing's a pain. Fortunately, subscription model is getting easier to understand. Become a certified implementation specialist. That's Pro, and then you move up to Legend. So you notice how this one is just a diamond. This one has like a V under the diamond, and this one has a chevron on top. So the icons are similar, but easily distinguishable. And just by doing a lot of these things that you've been doing in the community or Success Center or whatever, you may be checking these off and you don't even realize it. Go, wow, I got a notification this week that said, hey, if you do one more thing, you can become a Star Business Process Analyst. Wow, if that's all it takes, sure, then I'll do it. Great. And of course, developer, implementer, service owner, it's all there. It's pretty cool. Even better, part I like is you can take this profile, not only share it, but link to your profile. You can get a link to this profile, which is kind of gruesome and ugly, but hey, make a bit.ly link or a tiny URL or whatever you use. Copy that URL and use that as your brand, as your ServiceNow brand. I have actually made a QR code to this page, stuck it on my business card. So why not? There was white space on my business card. And I said, let's put a QR code back to the Now profile, the Now creator's profile. Make sure I get that right. So great little place to go. Keeps all this stuff in one swoop. So as you learn, as you grow, if you've got a goal, say, I want to be a developer legend, you know what's in front of you to get it done. So a lot of fun doing that. Notice I am not a developer legend yet. So there's a few things in my way that I need to clear out. I need to, like a schedule, to get some time to do that. All right, we are coming up on 45 minutes in this episode. I want to shift gears and go into a deeper dive topic about preventing NPEs. Did I talk about this? I think I did. Hang on a second. My ideas. Where are my ideas? No, I guess I didn't. Okay. Yes, I did this. Okay, I know I did this because I used that same. All right, I don't want to rehash another topic. Go back an episode or two. You'll find it on NPEs. Let's go find another idea. That one's been used, and I just haven't linked it up to the episode. Here's one, gs.isLoggedIn. I think that was my next idea, was it not? Yes, it is. Okay, GS stands for Glide System. A little bit of trivia if you didn't already know. The original name of ServiceNow was GlideSoft for about the first year and a half. There's a lot of artifacts in the software that say glide something. Obviously, the one we use to interact with the database, the API, is called Glide Record. Glide System is a lot of these system level functions that you use to interact with the system. One of them is called gs.isLoggedIn. So it's a whole class of functions. And if you look in the docs, Glide System, you can find the Glide System API available either on docs.servicenow.com or developer.servicenow.com. And look through this page. For additional information, go to the developer site. Didn't know that redirect was in there. I thought it just had all the methods in there anyway. Let's look. It goes, hey, your PDI is on Orlando. You should be using the Orlando page. Thank you. Yes, I will. And here is Glide System. We have things like add error message. That's how you can display a message across the top. Add info message. If you want the same kind of message, only blue. And down here, I have class after class after class after class. One of them is called isLoggedIn. And it is... There's isInteractive. We've spoken about that before. isLoggedIn is a very simple function. It simply says, are you logged in? This differs from isInteractive. isInteractive says, yes, you have credentials to perhaps use this API, but it's not a human at the keyboard. It knows whether it's a browser or an API being called, or how that API is being called. So is interactive, we talked about before, and you could put that into a business rule to say, if I'm running this code via a person, I want to do this logic. If I'm running it via a third-party system, making an API call, I don't want to run this logic. You can do that with is interactive. Is logged in is commonly used in Service Portal, where I came across it. Service Portal, and if I look at one of the Service Portal menus, you might find other use cases for this as well. Let's look at the main SP config menu. Not the SP config menu, just the SP header menu, that one. Standard out-of-the-box Service Portal header menu. In here, it has a number of options. This is how you get the menu. So if I say dev blah, 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 my personal developer instance / SP, it's going to present this Service Portal interface in a second. So I can take a drink. Now, these menu options across the top, I really want to know how to do that cart with the 5 thing. I have an idea. These menu options across the top may vary depending on whether you're logged in or not. For example, I don't need profile and log out if I'm not logged in. I don't want to present knowledge if I'm not logged in. If you want something to be public, then you don't care. Each one of these menu options down here is a menu item, and it says, you can see it here. Let's look at approvals, for example. Drill into one of those menu item records. It says, here's my label, it's attached to this, it's a scripted list, I'm going to get the script out of here, but the condition to show this menu option is right here. gs.isLoggedIn. Only display this if the user is logged in and the user has a role called approver_user. If you don't have both of those, I'm not going to show you approve on the screen. So you can make these menu items conditional. If you're not logged in, the same header menu is presented. If I show this to you in, say, an incognito window, then let's go to /sp without logging in. I know it's a little hard to read that. I have knowledge, but I don't have anything else. Maybe one of the knowledge things is I can't log in. How do I do a password reset? Okay, so that is one way to do that. And if you look, knowledge probably does not have a condition around is logged in. Let's look at the condition field. Similar to business rules or UI actions, it just says, if you can see this page, there's something called glide SP scriptable. I haven't looked into that. It has a function called can see SP page, which probably goes into some ACL or permission thing, or looks at the permission on that page to see if you have the right role. So you're not duplicating the role here and the role there. I got to think about that. That's a great way to do that instead of, yeah, I might have some duplicate conditions. Oh man, this is giving me all kinds of ideas for my application. Let's see. John, you made a note a little while ago. I got that note too, but the link was wrong. I didn't get the context of what that was. Maybe we can clear it up and give you help with that. So that's what, I don't know where I'm going now. I'm all over the place. That's what is logged in can do. That's the method to my madness today. So we'll go there. I also wanted to show you something very, very cool. Let me get a scoped app that has maybe a little bit of script in it. I don't know if this is one of them or not, but we can make a script. Go to Studio and pick the safety app. Collapse, server development script includes, my script include. Okay, I do have a script in here. I also have, I don't think this inbound integration includes any web services, but we'll look at that. So if you haven't already looked at this, I highly, highly encourage you to do so. I'm becoming more and more of a fan of this every day. This is Visual Studio Code. Ta-da, in its bare naked form. I just started the editor. VS Code is available. It's a Microsoft product, very popular. It's available for Windows, Mac, and Linux. This is not an advertisement for a specific editor, but if you don't have a favorite editor, or if you're looking to make your ServiceNow lifestyle a little bit easier, maybe a little bit more fun, you can do this. What I often find when I'm looking at my script include is the script box is nice, but it's like looking through a mail slot on a door. And while you can pop this out and make it bigger, or maybe make the font smaller, I just feel like I'm still constrained in what I can see when I do that. I don't feel like I have the whole context of this, or I want to jump around between a few things. Visual Studio Code has a plugin, an extension available for ServiceNow. And if you look for ServiceNow in the extension marketplace, there is ServiceNow extension. This is different than the one that Arnaud Cui put out, the SNUtil. Okay. This does something similar. This is the one that's officially supported and sanctioned and maintained by ServiceNow, and it does a few things that Arnaud's does not. Well, yet. So nothing against what Arnaud built. Great application for the time. He's also got a Chrome extension that's very popular, very helpful. I come over here, click install. If you haven't done this or haven't seen it before, you can time mark this one. That is installing. I haven't done it on this machine yet, so there we go. It's installed. And now what I get is in the command palette, which I honestly don't know how you get to it except for doing Command-Shift-P. I'm sure there's a better way. I type now and I say activate now extension right there at the top. And it turns the bottom bar green. Should turn the bottom bar green. Let's go set up a workspace. One prereq you got to do is have some place where you want to store your files. So I'm going to go to my documents folder, create a new folder called ServiceNow. You can call it dev, you can call it whatever you want. We have seen problems with this if you put it on a cloud synced folder. So do a little experimentation. It's not real happy with syncing. And I don't know if it's a VS Code thing or the ServiceNow extension thing, but OneDrive, it's not too happy. So set up workspace, go to that folder, say ServiceNow, and now it turns green. Okay, nice ServiceNow color. Then I create a project, same place down here in the corner, create a project, give it the instance name. You can work on multiple projects at the same time on multiple instances. Very cool, especially if you want to copy code between one and the other. Service-now.com is the instance. Basic or OAuth. I'm going basic with my credentials. Yes? Did I hit something? Password. Always be really careful when you're typing your password on a YouTube video. You are authenticated. I want custom applications. Import existing.